Bang.
Up. Pretty sure you're used to wearing studio monitors, right?
Bling bling, huh?
You get this thing on.
Yeah. I just notified. I'm live. I know I'm live. I'm on.
Sorry, there's a Tom King in the middle of the frame here.
The fuzzy
filter.
bit here. Go like this. Go like this. Bang. Perfect. Bling bling. It's gonna be great. I'm excited. Did you say Don King? Yes. I thought of that, and then I thought of the Trolls guy, the little Trolls
Like
guy.
an old troll.
Mm-hmm.
It really does help though with the pop.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
talking,
definitely.
people have like a
Big ass
yeah,
lips and shit.
I'll blow your ear out.
Right. Can I? Oh, there it. What?
Have you ever used?
I have not.
This is an amazing device.
I love this. This is
a
so
full
clear.
portable studio.
Yeah.
You could plug in.
What?
Plug in your mics. You can plug in a mix board, soundboard.
Dude, that's insane.
This is a phenomenal device.
I have to. When we get done, I have to take pictures of that.
Yeah, phenomenal device. I highly recommend it.
That's all. Can I vape in here?
You can do whatever you want.
I mean,
Whatever you want. I assume that based on who you are, everything's safe.
Right. Yeah. It's all nicotine.
Yeah, most people that pull that out are like,
Right.
"Hey man,
Can I hit this?
Can I smoke a blunt?"
Like this weed in here? Right. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna get this bar."
I'm just gonna crush this up real quick.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
So I always do an intro on the podcast, like
Okay.
separately. I'll record it, tell a little bit about you.
Cool.
But otherwise, I just
Bet.
hit record.
Dude, let's
And
do
we
it.
just talk.
Let's fucking do it.
You
I can
use
cuss,
that-
right? I won't cuss as
You
much.
can curse all you want, man.
Yeah.
It's a podcast.
Hell yeah.
B-RAiN, we live.
We're in here, man. We're in here, dude. It's been so long. I've been excited about this. I was telling my buddy, I was like, I feel like it's been almost a year. We've been talking about this, and like, has it been a year?
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Because the individual that we met over is doing great in his life.
Absolutely.
It's all situated.
I'm so proud of him, man.
Fixed him, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Really proud of him.
That's the beautiful part about, like, I'm sure, I know doing what I do, and I'm sure doing what you do also, like being able to, like, there's the hard times, and it's like, man, this guy's just a knucklehead, or this person's just a knucklehead. When are they? I hope they get it. And then, like, when we really, because we can get jaded and be like, you know, I'm not helping nobody. You know, I went above and beyond for this person and that person. I'm not doing that no more because I'm getting burned too much. But it's like, when we don't do that and we push through it, and like we actually do get to see like the 1% like actually get it. It's like, I
actually think it's way higher than 1%.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Maybe still a low percent, 10%, 20%.
Sure.
But it's definitely more than 1%.
Definitely more than 1. Yeah. I was just
especially on my end, because you're either getting yourself help or the courts tend to force you to get that help.
Right. You don't have a choice. Exactly.
You're standing there behind two steel bars.
It's like, please just let me out. Please let me out. Yeah.
And
but like be able to see people like go through that process and like be on probation for a year or 2 or 5, and it's like, or they get let off early because they're doing so well, and it's like, like, man, I knew it. I knew that this is why I do those things, you know. So it's super cool. I love the fact that he's doing great. And like I was just talking to the lady at the health department about doing this show, and I got a call on the way over here from another guy from Carroll County, you know, looking for help, and just the fact that I can be a beacon and really, if I say something, I know I'm going to do it, right? Like we've talked about it, and like it didn't work out. I can't make it tonight. I can't make it this time, and like I said, I'm gonna make it. I'm outside. Whether or not you responded to my message, I was like, I was in
here messing with this, testing.
I'll be in your parking lot, bro. You better be ready. But like I told this one guy probably 6, 8 months ago, I was like, my goal is within the next year to open up a recovery house, like a sober house. And literally we went on tour, and I used all the money that I made from that tour to put it into opening this house.
Oh, wow.
And so we've been open since November. And
well, give me something chronological. I mean, first off, I've been wanting to sit down and talk to you for a long time.
Hell yeah.
I the first time I met you, I had no idea that you were B-RAiN.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that you're a musician, that you're famous. Honestly,
Right.
I just came into court another day. There's a court liaison there.
Sure.
Honestly, I
With Yeezys
do
on.
judge people by their shoes
Yeah.
often. I'm a shoe guy. I love
Me
shoes.
too. Me too.
And I noticed right away that you had Yeezys on, so I was
Uh-huh.
like, all right, you know, either he's really cool or he doesn't know what he's wearing. I mean, that's every now and then I
Yeah,
do
absolutely.
meet someone who has Yeezys and doesn't
Uh-huh.
know that they have Yeezys. They
Right.
just got
Right.
pick up a pair
Grandma
of shoes.
got
Somebody
them or
got
something
them
like
for them.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
But I rapidly
Mhm.
recognized that it was the former
Right,
rather than the latter. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, things went haywire on that case.
Yeah.
And you volunteered to drive a person that was in the throes of addiction, actually high, to
Right.
New Jersey
Yeah. It was.
at night,
Yeah. He did not want to
kicking
go.
and screaming,
Kicking
trying to
and
get,
screaming.
and it deeply
Mm-hmm.
impressed me.
Yeah.
Immediately went on my Rolodex of
Mhm.
people that I need to know better,
Oh, yeah.
keep in touch with. And then
Oh, yeah.
then the Pandora's box was blown off.
Right. It was
All
like
the things that I really like.
music and then
Music,
you know,
hip hop
that's
music,
I think-
skateboarding. And,
Yeah. Oh yes. I was
Yeah.
telling my buddy, I'm like, yo, it's the guy that got me the skateboard. Remember? Because I took that on tour
Yeah,
with
well,
me.
you're the guy that got me the gold Wu-Tang record that hangs in my office.
Yes, dude.
That's the Wu-Tang record in my office is kind of like you wearing Yeezys.
Hell yeah.
People come into my office,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
they
I
see
see
the
them look,
suit,
right,
yeah.
they see this suit, they just, I'm a little white kid,
Right.
they don't necessarily know what they're walking into, and that lets a lot of people know.
Right. Hey, I'm here.
I mean,
I'm me.
I'm okay.
Yeah. I'm down for the
safe.
cause.
I'm safe.
Right. I'm a safe guy. It's a safe space.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
As soon as the 5 o'clock hour, I'm in Tim's or Wallabies. and
Right,
I'm
right.
back
I see
to-
you got the butters on right now.
Of course.
Love it.
Of course.
Love it. Oh yeah. But no, that's the cool thing about my daughter's 11 and like we delved into the sneakerhead culture a little bit. I got her some Jordan 3s that came out, I don't know, like right before Christmas. And she picked them out. She knew that they were Jordan 3s and I'm like, yes.
I was gonna bust on you because I
Yeah.
was watching your most recent video, and you're wearing red fives.
Yeah.
You look awesome, red fives.
Uh-huh.
I think it's like a minute and 43 seconds. You take your toe and scuff it, and I was like, "Whoa, B-RAiN! You scuffed your toe on the ground."
You can't do that,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah.
I paused it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to him about this.
I'm gonna let him know. 143, unacceptable.
Yeah, don't scuff the toe on those red fives. But
Yeah.
so I did just a modicum of reading to talk to you.
Yeah.
What's your story? My listeners, Legal Rights Radio, probably don't know much about
Sure.
B-RAiN. Some probably know you through court liaison work, but indicated that you were in recovery from May 5th, 2007.
Yes, sir.
And now it's a long
Yeah.
time. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank
It
you.
sounds like a habit at this point, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, it's not, it's the way of life is a routine. The thinking, and I feel like that goes for any person that's an addict or an alcoholic. It's the thinking that fucks us up, right? It's the thinking, it's the stuff that's not tangible. It's not like out here, like, you know, but when I'm driving and it's fucking raining for the 19th day in a row and like I'm in my ups and downs of my bipolar or like I'm depressed and it's like, you know
You
what?
have bipolar?
Yeah. So I actually, funny story is so my wife is not crazy. My wife's not crazy.
Nope. She's awesome.
But yeah, she's incredible. And she's been treated for her mental health throughout the recovery, and I've kind of like just gone solo. I was diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, depression, all that stuff as a kid. Never took any medication because I know how to self-medicate better, right? That makes more sense. I know substances and actions to do that'll take me outside of this. But like since I've been in recovery, I've kind of been like against medicine, and I'm not against medicine for anybody else, but against it for me because I know one that I forget shit all the time. So like I might do good with medicine for a week, eventually I'm gonna forget it, and I fear what will happen when I forget it. Right?
No, it's a legitimate fear.
Yeah, so I know how to cope with it.
There's a delicate chemistry involved in balancing those medications.
Right. And so my wife and I, because just like our recovery, and we do something positive for our recovery, my wife and I have continuously throughout our whole marriage done things for our marriage. Like we'd go on retreats, we do counseling with a licensed therapist and stuff like that. We go to these different marriage events and stuff like that that we've
Really?
gone, yeah, or at least every couple of years we
Just
go.
purely prophylactically. To
Yeah,
take care of
exactly.
your-
Be proactive. Like it's like a relationship is like a pair of shoes, right? You wear them every day. Eventually, they're gonna get dirty. You can either clean them or get mad at the shoes. Why are you so dirty? Well, motherfucker, you've been wearing them every day for 3 months. It rained, it snowed, whatever.
Take for granted your shoes too.
Exactly.
Really nice shoes. They're really great. You put them on. A week later, they're just
Right.
shoes
Man,
again.
yeah, exactly. I wear them out in the yard to do yard work and stuff. So like we do that, and so probably over the past year or so of like my up and down swings have like affected the way that my wife and I communicate, the way that I communicate with other people and stuff like that. But also on the adverse side of it, it has helped me to become laser focused when it comes to the or to the music, right? Because like I know when I'm doing stuff for music, whether it's booking shows, reaching out to sponsors, writing music, creating music, listening to music, whatever, I am laser focused. I'm not it doesn't matter if I'm up or down, like I'm focused, right? So it helps with that in that area, but it doesn't help when like my wife gets home and she wants me to uh you know vacuum the house, and I'm like, I don't want to break out of this laser focus because I feel good right now.
Right. That's pretty common in all professional endeavors.
Sure.
Turning off the mode that you need to be in
The
to
go
be,
mode,
to be efficient in your thing that you're professional at. To turn that off is hard.
Right. And most of the time, like my go mode, as soon as I turn it off, it's like immediately, oh, shouldn't have done that.
That's all right.
Depressed, immediately
Really?
down. Yeah, because like
So music is a real salvation for you.
It really
to
is.
bring that salvation to other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the story of pre-2007?
So
what was going on in your life? This is an area I know nothing about.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. I enjoy talking about it because there are so many people that can relate. I feel like can relate to some aspect of it, right? So I was born in Arizona, moved back to Maryland when I was like 9 months or something like that. My parents have been divorced since before they came back to Maryland. And my mom loved me to the best of her ability. But I think her thinking was, I need to find a good male role model for my son, right? Because my dad was using drugs and unemployed on and off from work and stuff like that. And but the problem is my mom had a bad picker, right? So she wasn't very good at picking good guys. She would pick other alcoholics or other drug addicts, and just guys that were either promiscuous with her or would like be physical with her or be physical with me. And so like growing up, I remember.
This was in Arizona or here?
No, in Maryland.
Where in Maryland?
So when we moved back to Maryland, we lived in Glendale for a little bit, but most of my childhood was in College Park, like right, not in the university side, on the other side, like the regular neighborhood side of College Park, but like College Park, Greenbelt, all that good stuff. And my dad lived in Southern Maryland in Waldorf, so like I got to go see him on the weekends. And through most of my childhood, like till I was like 10 or 11, he was like a functioning addict. He would use during the week. When I would come over, he wouldn't be dope sick. He wouldn't be. I think he copped a few times, like bought drugs while I was there a few times. A few times he's found drugs. A few times he used drugs, but not often. Most of the time, when I was there, like any good dad, like I was the center of attention, which I feel like attested to like growing up. My dad was my Superman, regardless of if he lived in a trailer park or not. And I resented my mom because she gave me the structure, and I felt like growing up it was very much hypocritical, right? So like I need to stay in and do these things, but she gets to go out and go bowling, and
Sure.
and I was
That's pretty
I don't
common.
want to paint her because she worked hard, right? So she worked overtime, she worked extra hours to get where she's at now. But like I took the brunt of it, right? Because I was alone. If she wasn't home, the guys weren't there because there was no reason for them to be there. So I spent a lot of time by myself in my neighborhood. The school that we went to wasn't a very good school. So like the two kids on my block, one went to private school and one used another address to go to a different public school. So like the kids that I knew at home, I didn't see them at school. The kids that I knew at school, I didn't hang out with at home. So I never really felt like I fit anywhere, right? So that's where skateboarding came into play. Like we skated at university all the time, University of Maryland all the time. Like that was my music at the time, right? Like I loved skating. And one kid had like a video camera. We would record it, and I would look at it, and I would do crazy shit. It was like when Jackass came out.
That's amazing.
We would throw rocks at the Metro bus. Statute of limitation can't come get me.
No, long gone.
Right. So, but we would just do a whole bunch of reckless stuff, and like in those moments is just like the music does for me now. It, like took me outside of like I didn't think about my dad lives in a trailer park. I didn't think about I wonder if my mom really does love me. I didn't think about like why do I have these hand-me-down clothes that don't really fit and everybody else gets new stuff or a new skateboard or they have the Sega and I don't have any video games and like I wasn't comparing. I was just like fully in the moment.
Yeah, I heard someone tell me once about something they thought about drug use. A lot of people say they're trying to get like peace of mind, but I don't think that's it. I think what people are trying to get is peace from mind.
Yeah.
Like get out of your mind. Get out of your own head.
Absolutely. Because that's where I talk about it all the time. Like the noise has always been there and will always be there.
Of course.
It goes on in my head.
In all of our heads.
Yeah, like I'm not good enough. I'm not handsome enough. I'm not strong enough. I don't have enough tattoos. My beard's not long enough. Or I don't have
all that stuff you rattled off. You seem to be doing excellent in all those departments. Huge beard, very handsome, tattoos up to the edge of your wrist.
Right. Whatever. I was telling somebody today. I got a job at a finance company like 5 years ago, and I tell you, I got the job because of my tattoos. Like, so my boss,
tattoos
Nick,
aren't negative these days.
Rest his soul. He died. He actually died while I was working there from an overdose, which is crazy because I didn't even think he was an addict or using at the time. But like, I'm on this interview, and I had a button-up shirt, which I fucking hate, and like a tie, and I'm there, and I'm sitting talking to him, and then the other guy is there, and I guess I was like this, and my sleeve came down. He was like, "Do you have tattoos?" And before I could even say yeah, he was like, "I got tattoos." I guess he must have just gotten his like kids tattooed on him, and I was like, "Yeah, it's fucking awesome." And so I pulled my sleeves up, and he was like, "Dude, this is fucking great. This is gonna work out great. We're gonna work well together." I'm like, so I literally had no.
You've heard your whole life that it goes the other way.
Right. I made sure I called my mom that day. I was like, "Mom, got the job because of my tattoos."
She's probably said like, "Yeah, one time, son."
right.
It'll never happen again.
Yeah, like now we have a pretty good relationship. But like I said, growing up, it wasn't. It was like I said, she worked all the time. So I found that like when I act up and I do bad shit, bad things, that I get attention because now she's got to discipline me or like I'm grounded and she's gonna like do what she can that she thinks is gonna benefit me, but Google wasn't like it is today where you can type in like, why is my kid fucking up in school, and they're gonna be like, yo, he's probably fucking crazy or something's wrong with him, or like, is he using drugs? Like, she didn't know, so she was just like, you're fucking broken. I shouldn't even had a kid, I just need to send you away. So I like spent a lot of times in like either outdoors camps or institutions. I went to my first like institution for like behavior modification for like at-risk teens. Yeah, when I was 12.
Getting jammed up with.
So I failed 6th grade and got expelled from school for fighting. Like, but it wasn't just once. It was like I was literally fighting the whole year. So yeah, they asked me not to return, and so that was my first experience with an institution. So I was there for like 2 months.
Are you locked into this place?
Well, it was in like Delaware, and I'm 12. I'm not going nowhere.
You're locked in.
Yeah. And so at the same time, my dad's drug use was escalating. right? So my mom thought it was my dad was the bad influence. Probably in some ways he was. So my mom was like, all right, you can't see him. So somehow he found out the number to this place, which I think now is shut down. And I was there for like a month and a half, 2 months, and he was like, literally, if you don't let me see my kid, I'm blowing the place the fuck up. And so they made me leave there. They said I'm gonna fucking risk to the rest of the kids. And so I get home, and by the time I get home, he's now homeless,
Oh man.
living in the woods behind Home Depot in College Park in a tent, and justifies it to me, being 12-year-old Brian, that like he wanted to be closer to me because he didn't want to admit like everything goes in the pipe, the truck, the trailer, everything, the job, like because he was smoking crack, like everything was gone. And soon after that I came back. I had to go to a different school. And I'm smart, I'm not stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go back into 6th grade and I excel tremendously. And they're like, all right, we're going to bump you back up to middle school. Because at the time, like now, I think middle school is like 6th through 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Where I went to school, it wasn't. It was just 7th and 8th. So all the kids that I went to school with had already gone to middle school, made friends. Now, I already told you, I don't feel a part of anyway, because the kids that I
Right.
see at home.
And you're the kid that got expelled
Exactly.
and got back. And
So I go in the middle of the year, it's like January, and I don't feel a part of. So the only way, like I said, that I know how for people to pay attention to me is act like a lunatic. I was skateboarding through the hallway, fighting people, and that's when I started like stealing. I found that stealing took me outside of my mind, right? I wasn't thinking. I was like, the adrenaline's pumping.
yeah.
Might get caught. I'm not, because I'm a fucking G. You know what I mean? I'm such a gangster. Like
Stealing
this,
what?
tennis shoes. That's
From
where.
stores?
Yeah. So there was a.
You go in, put a pair of shoes, and just run out?
It escalated to that at 12. No, no. So I had the CCS book bag, which was
Nice.
great.
Nice.
And my middle school, I went to Greenbelt
CCS
Middle.
book bag where you could strap a deck onto the back? And
Yeah,
two straps and you
of
strap
course,
a deck?
bro.
Okay, I know
Is
this.
there any other way?
I know this.
You'd be a poser if you got the other one,
I know
right?
this backpack.
So there was a Beltway Plaza was right next door. They had a Sports Authority, and they had, I don't know how it was set up, but pretty much you could walk in and it's like a hallway, but the one wall is only like half a wall. So, and that's right where the shoe section was. So I would go around. I would either be by myself and put two pairs of shoes in my book bag, or like I would bring a buddy and I would literally just pass boxes over to him, because it was like you walk down the hallway, here's the security, like the sensors, and then the shoe sections over here, so I could just pass them over the wall. And that was like my high at the time, because I started using soon after that, but like that was my shit. I felt like king shit on Turtle Island. Like I was finally in control of something, because I felt like I was so out of control of everything. I was powerless over my dad. I was powerless over the love and that my mom showed to me. I was, the only thing that I felt like I had control over was doing bad shit, and then we started skipping school and fucking smoking Black and Milds, and then it escalated to weed and stuff like that, and that's when, it kind of.
How does it go from... Okay, stealing is outside of bounds of what most young people are doing, but people dabble with drinking,
Right.
weed.
Right.
How does it go from that to something harder?
So I really think it was just, I loved weed. Like people would be like, oh, what was your poison? Like I would say I fucking love weed. Like that's my drug of choice, right? But as I can, you can only get so high. Back then, weed fucking sucked.
Yeah.
And so like people were around, and like my dad had pills. And what's crazy is like the guy that I bought weed from also sold coke, and my dad liked coke, and so I would get him to sell my dad coke, and my dad would give me like methadone pills with the Laudits and stuff like that. And like I would, like at 14, 15, I would stay in his tent for the weekend, and we would just get high together.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. And to me it made sense.
It's very
problematic. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
And
Is your dad still around?
no, so he died of an overdose
sorry.
about 5 months before I got clean.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it, so like I said, my dad was like my Superman, and I know without a shadow of a doubt that he would have given his life to know that I have the life that I have today. And so like that's what I look at it today. You know, I try to flip it and look at it like
He perhaps did
sacrificed.
give his life. So
Yeah,
you have a life
so that I can have what I because I was incarcerated for like 2 years, and we would write. You know, I would have to write letters to my mom, and you know, of course, I'd write this one to my mom, and then be like, all right, this one's for dad, and she would get it to him because he don't have a mailbox. And
So you guys would just trug out to the back of Home Depot in the woods and walk back to the tent and hand her a letter?
yeah, no, she would.
Yeah, but you would do that? You would go
No,
back?
I was in jail.
Well, before that, you would go back behind in the woods?
I would just call him up. You know, we had cell phones then.
He had a cell phone?
Yeah, he had like the little track phone or Nokias or whatever. And what's funny is even today, like when big stuff happens, I'll still pick up my phone and be like, want to call him. Like I've never had his number clean or ever in a phone like this. So, you know, it's kind of like, why would I even think that? But I still love him and miss him, and I'm grateful for that.
He's in your DNA.
100%. And
I didn't mean to cut you off. So you were visiting your dad.
Yeah, so I would visit him. We would hang out. He ended up getting a job at like IHOP or something, so he would make money, and like I would just make that connection. And then instead of him selling the coke to my dad, like of course I would get the pills for my dad, and you know fucking buy some coke for myself, and then it would just escalated. You know, to like more and more and more. It was like, okay, it's fun. I can mix all these things. And one thing, I hated drinking. I only drank if it was the only thing that was there. You know, like all of this was like underage. Like I couldn't buy blunts. I couldn't buy alcohol. So like most of the shit that I did, like especially, like I would have to steal alcohol. So rather than steal, why would I steal alcohol when I can go to CVS and steal Robitussin, DM, and get 90,000 more times fucked up on that than the alcohol. Fuck the alcohol. I'm getting fucked up on because this will really take me out of my mind. And so really, I think from the first moment that I smoked weed with a couple friends, it was like I found the solution. I found the solution to all the chaos that went on. Right. This is the solution.
In a young person's mind, you're just not able to comprehend that that's a dead end.
Yeah, had no clue what it was to come, you know. Because in my mind, you know, I'm fucking listening to Tupac and 3 6 and stuff, and they smoke weed and pop pills, and even 3 6 Mafia does coke. They're fucking G's. I'm a G too, like, you know what I mean? So I didn't see any problem with it. But it had gotten to the point, I mean, honestly, like 16, 17 years old, I'm like by myself, homeless in my car, because like I said, my mom, hard worker, right? She put in all the time. It took from me, but she was able to build herself a career, and she had gotten to a point where she was getting this like a security clearance or something. And she was like, well, I'm doing this for myself. If you're gonna do what you're doing, like you can't live here. Because I need to get this clearance. So I had a place to stay, but I chose to be homeless and live in my car because, like, not getting high, that doesn't make sense. Not doing that.
How long were you homeless living in your car?
Probably about 5 months one time.
In the summer or the winter? Maryland's not a very inviting place to be living in your car.
Winter.
How does that work?
Just run it. So, crazy story.
Run the car.
So, there's this gas station in Edgewater. 15, we moved out of PG County to Anne Arundel County because my mom was like, all right, it's the location. You know, it's a bad area. It wasn't the greatest area by any means. We moved to Anne Arundel County because it's a nice area. It's kind of country, you know, uppity people and stuff like that. But in my mind, I'm like, yo, fuck these people. These people don't know what I've been through. These people don't know that, like, I've been the minority in my school for my entire life. And now there's always fucking white kids. They just think that they're entitled to just walk around. Like, I used to get beat up and bullied and stuff like that coming home. And like, you guys don't know what the fuck I've been through. And so I just built this huge, I guess, kind of sense of entitlement towards these kids that I went to school with. I'm like, fuck you guys. And so it doesn't do very well for creating friendships or anything like that unless it has to do with money or drugs. And then we don't really give a fuck who it is. Just like, let me get money and let me get drugs. And so there was this gas station in Edgewater that used to be pump before you pay. And so I would park literally on the very last pump, and I would steal gas probably twice a week. And that's how I was able to run the car all night so the heat was on. Sometimes I would rent my car out for free drugs. Sometimes money, most of the time just free drugs. And I would just sit in my car and listen to music and get high by myself for the longest time. And then at like 17, my mom found this other, it was like a rehab slash um, behavior modification place in Oregon. Because the one in Delaware I did try to escape from once. So she thought like if I was in Oregon, I wouldn't try to escape, which I didn't. So I went out there for like 7 months.
It's a long program.
And I got kicked out of, well, right before that, I got kicked out of my high school in Anne Arundel County for fighting and doing drugs and shit like that. And so I went there, and I was actually able to complete high school there, which I'm grateful for.
In Oregon.
In Oregon, yeah. And I got my diploma from the high school that I went to, which was cool. I didn't have to get like a GED or like a generic diploma, which is awesome. But there, it wasn't, I didn't get taught about, they didn't really give me any tools. Like when I left, they were like, okay, Brian, you need to get a job and don't do drugs. Neither of which I had done for probably the past 5 years. So I'm like, okay, you let me out, I'm going home, bet, I don't care. You know, so I went home, I came home, and I did good for about 3 days.
Oh, wow. 3 days.
Because like I said, I didn't really have any tools.
Right.
They didn't say,
Right.
you know, there's these meetings or fellowships or support groups or here's some phone numbers of people you can call or here's some places that you, there was none of it.
Sure.
It was just like, good luck. And
There's a lot of important nuggets in the things you're saying.
yeah, because those resources are so huge. Like, granted, at that point in time, I probably wouldn't have used the resources. I'm not going to lie. But it might have made the time from 3 days to 12 days.
It's way easier to contemplate success if resources were available than if they weren't at all.
Correct.
I mean, you're saying maybe you wouldn't have taken advantage of it, but maybe you would have.
Yeah.
You just graduated high school.
Right.
You're there for 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
Come back, and maybe you meet one person who can change you.
Yeah, I mean, and literally when I found out, when I did end up getting clean, I found out like there was meetings. Literally, I could have walked 5 minutes from my mom's house and gotten to them. But my choice was after 3 days and watching. So I literally watched Clockwork Orange, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, American History X, just a whole bunch of negative ass movies, right? And after 3 days of like, yo, fuck this.
Yeah,
being
you're not allowed to
shit.
watch Stanley Kubrick 3 days after leaving prison.
So back to the races, and I already knew what it was, right? I knew I couldn't come home because my mom's clearance that she had gotten. So, you know, I went living in my car for the next 5 months. Racked up a lot of charges, a lot of petty shit like thefts. You know, in and out of jail, my mom would bail me out for $500, $1,500, stuff like that. And then got my big charges where I had 11 robberies. So my genius thinking was that there were some kids that I went to school with, and one of them sold drugs, and I thought he would have some money on him. So I'm like, yeah, let's go stick him up. Like we could just like, I don't know, hit a couple people that were at ATMs.
Armed?
So we had baseball bats.
Okay. I didn't.
No, yeah. I mean, I had a pistol. I had like a little 22 pistol.
Baseball bat's a weak stick up.
It really is. But it looks scary when there's people in masks. I mean, I was willing to do whatever that I felt like somebody else would think I was a G, right?
You know,
so
that qualifies for sure.
Yeah. And you know, but I didn't have a ton of resources. I wasn't like connected in the streets. I'm not like.
I just, you know, a baseball bat you can come back from, but a gun, it's.
Right.
This could be the end.
Mm-hmm. And so instead of robbing him, we, you know, just robbed and told everybody to empty their shit at the bus stop. It was 11 people. We ended up getting $6, and maybe. Like, I don't even think we got anything from their book bags. We ended up just, like, throwing them out on the streets. I was like, get everything.
Now you're facing 11 counts of armed robbery?
Correct. 11 counts of armed robbery.
In Anne Arundel County?
Yeah, 11 counts of armed robbery, 11 counts of second-degree assault, and 11 counts of reckless endangerment or some shit like that.
That makes sense.
And so, being 18, it was like, all right, well, I'm in big boy jail. And I was my bail was, like, $575,000. I remember calling my mom, and I'm like, Mom, my cell buddy said that you can put the house up and they'll let me out. I'm not going to do it. And she hung up.
Of course.
And
of course.
of course. Great job, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have $500K in equity in your house too. That's rare.
Right. Yeah, definitely didn't have that.
No, most people
I had
don't.
no idea how
Most
that
people
even
don't.
worked. I'm like, Mom,
Yeah.
get me out of jail, bro. Come on.
Maybe you don't have to have $500K in equity, but you have to have a substantial portion of equity
Yeah.
in home.
And so I went back to my cell and I was like, all right, well, this is my life.
Yeah.
I was like, because I hadn't done anything positive at all with my life to benefit anybody, including myself. I just continued to hurt myself. And, I was already used to institutions.
Did you use drugs again when you came back?
Yeah, absolutely. The third day, I went right back to the same place, to the same trailer park, and got the same drugs from the same guy, sleeping in my car in the same park and ride. Because it was comfortable. It was what I knew. That was the only thing I did know. Because as like a young adult, I didn't know that, like, I mean, I knew in the back of my head, like, get a job, do these things, go to college. But, like, that didn't feel like me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's not me. This is me. This is who I am. I'm a fucking scumbag piece of shit that's never going to amount to anything, that's probably going to die before I'm 21. And I was content with that because I knew, and that's why I was content with, facing 165 years. I was like, at least now I won't hurt anybody anymore, right? Because there was plenty of other things before. I'm glad that I got locked up for that and not the countless other things that I did before then that I didn't get caught for, because I probably wouldn't be sitting here with you. You know what I mean?
Because you're saying that this one was big enough that it's a game changer for you?
Well, no. This one was, I guess at the time, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, yes, they ended up sentencing me to 15 years, and I had to go to drug treatment. But it was
15
like...
to spend all but 2?
Correct.
15.
And I had already done 18 months or something like that.
Sitting, waiting.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just had to wait for a bed to open up in a rehab. And so I ended up doing 20 months and then 4 and 5 in rehab. So...
What's your commentary on being in jail?
Dude, for me, it was just like every other institution. I thrive in structured environments. You know what I mean? I know how to, in structured environments, because I'm a dope fiend, I know how to game the system as well as to, I guess, like, if you think about it in video game terms, I know how to level up and, like, get clout and stuff like that without really doing it. I knew how to play Pinochle, I knew how to play Scrabble, I knew how to play all the card games, and so that's really the way to stay out of gangs, to stay out of fucking... I mean, I was using drugs in jail, not as much as I was on the streets, but, like, my mom, the best that she could do was put money on my commissary, so, like, I did that, and that money went to either gambling, playing cards, or fucking, buying weed or buying pills from other people and shit like that.
So weed and pills are readily available in jail?
Readily available. Probably now fucking everything is. I mean, yeah. It was county jail, bro. Like,
brought in by the guards or brought in by people sneaking it in?
I have no idea. My guess is probably both, honestly. I mean, I guess if I was a guard and, like, because, I mean, shit... A fucking 10 bag of heroin on the streets could go for hundreds of dollars in jail. You know what I mean? So if it's like, if I'm a guard and I can make extra, 4,000 or 5,000 a week just from...
So commissary, you're allowed to pull it out like an ATM and you have cash?
No. Commissary is
or
like...
You can swap
items.
commissary.
Yeah, like I could get this on commissary, but it's
Understood.
$2.
Understood.
So now this is $2 worth. It's kind of like...
So you're
ancient,
trading items.
Exactly.
Items.
Like ancient shit. Like, hey, I'm going to give you this orange and you're going to give me 2 potatoes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you make jailhouse food?
Oh, absolutely.
Like
made some hookups. Yeah, made some hookups. In the recovery.
This is ramen noodles, tuna.
Ramen noodles, tuna, pickles.
Mayonnaise.
You gotta mayonnaise. Yeah, gotta have mayonnaise and mustard. But
I heard if you add hot Cheetos to it, it's like
gotta have
game
Cheetos,
changer.
right? So we didn't have Cheetos. We had like cheese curls on our commissary because it was like bootleg shit.
Cheese curls.
But you gotta smash them up, make it nice and powdery. It makes for a great cheese.
Yeah, I ate this hookup.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I heard about it many years ago and
It's amazing.
went in. It's not bad.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, it's legit. Yeah, because that ramen packet is delicious. You could
Oh,
add
absolutely.
the ramen packet
My daughter,
to
literally,
anything.
my
It
daughter
tastes good.
literally is like, Dad, can you make me ramen noodles right now? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
ramen's
"Really?"
good.
Yeah,
It's very bad for you.
especially when you cook it right. You know, if you cook it right and it's like
Right.
soft but not like too slimy, and it's just like soft and thick and plump, and
Yeah.
it just makes it really good.
All right, so
Um,
sorry to digress and talk about
no, yeah, gotta get the hookups. I mean, when you talk about gym, you gotta talk about hookups. And but yeah, I was completely content. You know, I had just done 7 months prior, and you know, as a juvenile, you know, I got locked up for petty theft and fighting and shit like that. So like, I think the worst thing that they could have done for me is I was boosting some shit, and I was like 14 or 15. I was boosting stuff at Greenbelt Mall, and they ended up taking me to the county jail, like the adult jail. And they're like, we're gonna let you sit here and fucking scared straight or some shit. I'm like, I was there for like 8 hours until my mom came and picked me up. And I was like, well, this isn't shit. Like, I don't care. Like, this is like a break for me where I don't have to worry about running from the cops because you already got me. I don't have to worry about where am I gonna get, you know, what can I steal next and who do I have to hurt to be able to get $100. Because it wasn't about, like, people were like, dude, you were doing all that for like weed and coke, and it was like it wasn't for that. It was for the feeling, just like the drugs were. It was combined. Like, yeah, I needed money, but it wasn't like I gotta get fucking $6 so I can give this guy half on a dope bag. You know what I mean? And hopefully be able to get on. No, it was like all of it was the rush and the adrenaline and the feeling of outside of my mind, outside of my brain, so that I could feel better. Or think that I felt better about myself.
It also cures that feeling of not fitting in, because obviously you're not going to fit in if you're an outlaw.
Exactly.
Like, an outlaw's a loner.
Exactly.
It's cool to be by yourself if you're an outlaw.
Right, exactly. I think that played a ton into it. I'm my only child. You know, I didn't even have any like my mom's brother still has no kids, and my mom's sister, her kids are like 10 and 15 years younger than I am. So like, I was the only kid in the whole family. Even though we have it's like my mom, my aunt, and my uncle, and my grandma. Like, my grandpa died when I was like 5. My dad's parents died early on that I never met because they lived in Arizona. I think the only person now left is my mom and her siblings and stuff like that. But like, for the longest time, I was by myself. I didn't have a big family. We didn't have big reunions and cookouts and shit. But, you know, so I was and I still am completely content with being by myself. Most of the time, I would much rather be by myself. And when I'm around other people, I like to make sure that I have somebody there that knows me. Because if I just go into a situation, like me and you, this is great. I'm good with this. I can be me. But like when we were at, not so much at the wedding, but like if we were at like, if you had a Christmas party, like a work Christmas party, you're like, B, come on, it's gonna be great. I'm like, all right, cool. So I come, and there's like 30 people here, and I know nobody except for you, and you're like tied up. I'm gonna be the awkward fucking guy that's standing by the door just waiting to leave. I swear to God, nobody talk to me because I'm not gonna have a conversation. I'm like, yo.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I wouldn't think that.
Weird. It's really weird, and I beat myself up about it. So I'm like, I'm in my head saying, why are you so fucking weird? Stop being weird.
Yeah.
Talk to him. And I'm like, what am I going to talk about? I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't really
I mean, I enjoy being alone too, but I also have a deep fascination with people.
I like watching people.
You know, I only know what's going on in my own mind.
Sure.
And it's pretty insane. So I love to talk to other people, especially like this. Like, who sits down anymore in 2020?
Right. Exactly.
And just talks
about stuff just
for no reason. Just talking.
Exactly.
Seeing where the conversation leads, or kind of.
That's what I love. Like, I've been asked to do a handful of podcasts, and like I really truly do love it because I like talking.
Yeah.
I don't like talking in big conversations, but I like getting to know people.
Funny. I find things to be so funny. So when I'm in a party, I'm just looking for funniness.
Right.
I see somebody that's weird. I'm gonna talk to this guy.
Yeah. Watch this, bro. This is gonna be
really
funny.
funny. Just for me, I just enjoy the funniness of people. So, what year was the stint of 18 months plus the bed?
So it was
the A505 release?
Yeah. So I got locked up in January. I ended up getting out in October January 2005, 2006. So I went.
For the listeners, there is
Yeah.
a mechanism
Yeah.
available in criminal law whereby you can be sprung from a sentence to go into an inpatient facility,
Right.
likely if your underlying crime is involved in
Substance abuse.
I was told recently I shouldn't say that it should be substance use disorder.
Oh yeah, SUD, substance use disorder. Yep, that's what it is.
But I'm not exactly the most PC person.
Right,
I'm constantly
right.
offending everyone with my speech.
Yeah.
But
and they come in and do an evaluation, which is cool because like I had no idea.
Screen you by the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, maybe see if you're amenable to treatment. And
Right,
if you are,
right.
You can do it, and that's what you did, right?
Yeah. So what's crazy is, this 8505 is supposed to be like a one-time shot. You get one shot, you fuck it up.
For the most part.
Right. So, in between, so I went to the place in Oregon, January 2005, through August of 2005. So from August.
That was
till January 2006.
Pre-robbery.
Right. So from August till January 2006, I was just going buck fucking wild. January 2006 is when I got locked up. I ended up getting an 8505 off the jump. I went to treatment in Southern Maryland. Complete lockdown facility, got kicked out, not for using, but for fraternizing and hooking up with the girls because
they had girls in close proximity to you?
Yeah, it was a co-ed facility.
Oh, that's entrapment.
But right, for real. But this was like where I started to understand, I started to get some tools, right? So I went there, they took us to meetings, and I started to understand that like the addiction isn't the drugs, right? The drugs are my solution. I'm addicted to everything. Stealing, robbing people.
You're addicted to escaping reality.
Escaping, right. Getting with women that makes me feel better about myself and drugs.
For like 30 seconds.
Right, exactly. Maybe 15. But so I ended up getting kicked out. The jail came and picked me up, took me right back to jail, and I had to wait out another year before I could go to treatment again.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were locked up and they gave you a second opportunity to complete this?
So I went to treatment.
That is exceedingly rare.
So exactly.
It's exceedingly rare.
What's crazy is that I had the judge the whole time. From when I went to the first treatment center, I had some knowledge of like, different 12-step fellowships and stuff like that. And I ended up writing my dad a letter, and I was like, hey, you should check these meetings out. I know you're struggling with using and stuff like that. And I don't know, I went to this rehab. It's pretty cool, and they had these meetings. People were really cool. You should try it. The letter never got to him because they ended up finding him dead of an overdose.
In the tent?
In the tent, yep. But the crazy thing is that they couldn't find me for probably because I'm his only kin, right? They couldn't find me for probably like a week or so. So I didn't find out till he died January 2007. And, they couldn't find me till like almost the end of January. And I remember being in my cell one night. I don't know if this was the exact day or if it was like, one of those things where, I just like was connected to him. But I remember like looking out the window and feeling like something's going on, and then I found out soon after that he died, and I cried for like 3 days. Like I was devastated. And it was cool. I was really nervous because I was not able to stop crying. Like I wanted to. I was like, I'm going back to the tier. These guys are going to beat my ass, blah, blah, blah. I went back to the tier, and I told my cell buddy, and he was like,
yeah, everybody
respects cry as much as you need to, bro.
The loss of their father.
Yeah.
Even the hardest of the hard. I mean, that's
some deep shit.
It's hard.
And so that was really good for me. And then immediately, Tier Runner came on the tier and was like, I got weed and I got pills. I was like, well, here's all my fucking commissary. Make sure you come back every week. Same time next week. And I used the whole time from there until May. So the funny thing about May.
This is painful to hear this.
It sucked, man. It sucked.
I keep thinking with clients that we have that are addicted, they can't shake it, that if they do get incarcerated, at least the silver lining will be that forced sobriety. But
right.
They don't even have that salvation.
Right. It really is. It's like one of I don't know if it's like a God moment or just a a moment of clarity, whatever somebody wants to call it, because so my clean date is May 5th, 2007, and I talk about this a lot because I feel like it's super important, right? So somewhere in May, maybe the end of April, the tier that I was on, we were like doing tattoos and we got knocked off. I had to go to lockup. I didn't go to treatment until actually I went to treatment in June. I got out of treatment in October. Um, so I didn't go to treatment until June 4th. Uh, I spent that last month on lockup. The first letter that I got on lockup was May 5th. So I know I was clean that day. I might have been clean 3 days before that. I might have went to lockup on April 30th. I don't know. But the reason I share that is because at that point in time, it wasn't part of my plan to stay clean. It wasn't part of my plan to like really do this rehab thing and like get plugged in and change my life. It wasn't. I went straight to rehab. I met a girl and we talked. We almost got kicked out multiple times. And, we didn't. We ended up graduating the same day on October 4th. And we've been together ever since. That's my wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, it's crazy because...
Wow.
Yeah, I was in treatment.
I had no idea. You mentioned your wife's in recovery.
Yeah.
I just didn't know it was like that.
Yeah, so we met. And
we gotta pause one thing.
Yes.
My job, because of what I do, I'm hyper perceptive. Like, I see everything.
Yeah.
She texted you a minute ago and asked if you fed the dogs.
Right. I did not feed the dogs.
Tell her.
I didn't feed the dogs, babe.
Did you see that?
I did see it.
I love dogs. We can't let the dogs.
If it pauses, it's because I'm texting my wife. Let's see this. Is this back? Are we back? I don't know. Oh, cancel? I guess so. Maybe. Yep, there we go.
Good.
We're back.
Good. Sorry for that.
I said, yeah. So I got there, but what's crazy is so my dad died in January. I got the treatment in June. She was there a couple days before I was. Her dad died June 19th from like a liver disease as a direct result of his addiction and his drinking and stuff like that.
Cirrhosis.
And she was getting ready to leave. She wanted to leave. She wanted to dip. She knew that if she left, she was going back to jail. Didn't give a fuck. Her dad just died, blah, blah, blah. And me, still being the sick person that I am, I'm like, yeah, this girl's hot. My dad just died. Her dad just died. Maybe I can talk to her. Like, in there, I wanted to help, but I also saw that it was a hot chick.
Right.
I bet.
Well,
and so maybe we can, like, talk about it and we're going to fall in love.
yeah.
Because that's really all I wanted.
You had good intentions.
Correct.
Hot chick is a big part of life.
Right.
A lot of things are motivated by that.
Right. So I went up and I was like, hey, my dad just died in January. If you want to talk about anything, I'm here for you. Just don't leave. And that was it, And then we started talking a couple of days later. And then, I don't know, by like a month in, we were like in love. We were sneaking out together, doing what it do.
This is jeopardizing your second A505?
Correct.
For the same exact thing?
For the same exact thing. And
this time it was true love.
Correct. And I truly believe, like, my higher power, like, was looking out for me, right? Because, like, I truly believe if I didn't meet Helen, if I didn't meet my wife, if we weren't together, there's absolutely not a chance that I would still be clean today at all.
Probably not alive.
Right. Yeah, and if I was, I'd probably be in fucking jail or prison, wherever they want to fucking send me.
But you completed it with Helen.
Correct. And what's crazy
graduated
is she
together,
was supposed
and
to
your
get out.
sentence is now done.
Yeah,
but you're on probation for 5 years or something, right?
Yeah, I was on probation for 5 years. So we do that. We get out. We graduate the same day, and not because of any of our doing. She was supposed to graduate 2 weeks prior. She got a letter from her judge in treatment. The only letter that she got was like, hey, we've modified your sentence. You graduate on October 4th. So literally we were able to walk out of treatment together and start our new life together with nothing. Like, both of us had trash bags full of clothes.
Are you in Southern Maryland?
No. This time we're in Baltimore. We're at Gaudenzia.
Oh, Gaudenzia.
Who the one in Owings Mills is now shut down. I think they moved it to Crownsville or something like that. But yeah, we went through Gaudenzia in Owings Mills, and my mom was willing to help. I was like, nah, you should get me an apartment. She was like, absolutely fucking not. She was like, but what I will do is I'll pay for a motel weekly, because she knows my patterns. I do good for 3 days. I do good for a week. I do good for 5 days, and then I use again. So she knows if she pays for a hotel for a week, if I fuck up, I have to figure it out by the end of the week, right? So we lived in a Motel 6 on Security Boulevard. There's complete trap motel, chicken, all that stuff. And she had a job, I didn't. And so she went to work in the morning, and I went and looked for jobs. And a 20-year-old kid with 2 felonies that has 0 job experience, that was not the easiest thing to do. But that's literally what I did all day, every day.
Was search for work?
Was search for work. Apply. I mean, I applied at 5 McDonald's, and not a single one hired me. You know, and I get this fucking McDonald's.
Right.
You need to hire me. You know, but I applied at a bunch of places, and just wasn't finding work. I ended up being in, after about 2 months of this. I had a sponsor. I was going to meetings every day. I had a sponsor, and I was allowing that sponsor to get to know me, just like you and I. I'm sharing with him my story. Got 2 months in, I called him. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. This is bullshit. Nobody's gonna fucking hire me. I'm not gonna get a job. I'm not gonna be able to do this life thing. And I was in Owings Mills Mall, and he was like, B, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to the Foot Locker, right? Because I love tennis shoes. I want you to ask for the manager and tell the manager everything you know about all the shoes on the wall, and ask for the job. I was in the food court paralyzed in fear, right? Because for one, I didn't think very highly of myself at all. I didn't think that I was smart at the time or had anything to offer anybody. And I was also feared up thinking that, okay, there's 2 things that this guy's gonna do. He's either gonna laugh at me, so I'm gonna get the fuck out of his store.
No way.
Or,
it's a great piece of advice.
Right.
I'm stealing
right.
this is a great piece of advice.
100%.
Find someone who knows, who's doing what you want to do, and tell them everything you know about what they're doing.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
So.
It's even easier. This is, what year is this?
2007.
Okay.
2007. This is
that,
December 2007.
7. I can't even remember like what the hottest shoe in 07 was, but I feel like Adidas wasn't even in it.
No, Adidas was
It was
definitely
like all Nike.
Yeah, it was all Nike.
There may have been some shell toes around, but it wasn't like a big deal.
No, nobody like now. Shell toes are coming back, but not that.
Right, but it wasn't
like maybe the Nike boots or something like that.
Now Adidas.
They were hot. The Nike boots were like, I think
like
the Nike
ACG
boots,
black Nike boots.
ACGs, yeah.
Those are good for a short guy like me. Those are really good.
Yeah,
like
they give you
6 inches of height.
Right. It's great. It's great. I love my. I used to buy a new pair of Nike boots every year. I haven't done that in a couple of years, but I also have a plethora, more of a collection of shoes.
Yeah, I see.
But,
all right, so tell us what happened.
So, because I trusted this guy, I had asked him to be my sponsor. I had allowed him to know who I was. I trusted, somewhere in there was another moment of clarity. It was like, I trusted this guy enough to be my sponsor. I trusted this guy enough to share with him who I am. Maybe I should trust him on this. Like, literally, I don't think I've been that scared in recovery since. Maybe it was definitely in the top 3 of like most scared times in my recovery.
Fear is a pretty interesting thing, because fear also gets you out of your own head.
It does. So I was like, okay,
that's why I like fighting, grappling.
Yeah, right.
It's scary.
Yeah,
getting pounded on.
You get hurt.
Yeah. You don't think about anything else but
right.
that.
It's just the natural instincts that you can react to. Yeah. So I start walking towards the Foot Locker, and this guy in a cell phone store, little cell phone store, was like, hey, I guess I just had this Goodwill fucking button up that was 2 sizes too big for me, and some khakis that I got from the Goodwill. I just looked like I needed a job. He was like, hey, you need a job? And I was like, yep. And he gave me the application, and because I was working a program, my sponsor told me I had to be honest on all the applications that asked me if I have felonies. So I was, and that's probably what held me up from all the jobs. This one, it said, we don't do background checks. Do you want to tell us anything? So I call my sponsor, and I'm like, yo, this is what it says. He said, well, does it ask you if you have felonies? And I was like, no. He's like, all right, well, put no. If you don't want to tell them, they're not asking. And so I got that job. And I don't say it because...
cell phone kiosk?
Yeah, selling cell phones. And I say that because not that he was wrong and I didn't get the job at Foot Locker, but because I trusted him enough to walk through this paralyzing fear that I had.
No doubt.
And like
you sent a signal to the cosmos that you were getting a job
today. It came down.
That's how it works.
Like, you know, and so every job I've had since then has been a direct result of having that job. Now I'm self-employed, which is fucking awesome. But
the direct result of the cell phone job.
Correct. Yeah, sales. I worked in management.
What was it? Verizon kiosk?
It was a T-Mobile kiosk in the food court, and it was like a dealer. They ended up going out of business. I went to another one and got promoted there to assistant manager, a manager. I was a district manager, and then I went on to sell cars for like 3 or 4 years.
Nice. What kind of cars?
Used cars. I was one of those used car salesmen. And then I left that, came back closer to home, and worked at T-Mobile again as a manager for about a year. And then I went to Verizon, and then I got the job at the finance company. And the finance company took into consideration my tattoos and all my sales experience in lieu of not having a bachelor's degree. So it's pretty cool. I got that job, and then because of all my sales experience and my music, I got the job with a couple different treatment facilities doing marketing and outreach.
Where
and
does
stuff
the
like
music? Where's the hip hop
So-
fit into all this? We've taken me from
beginning
13
to
years old
right.
to
So check this out.
07, haven't talked at all about hip hop except that trying to be a G like G6 Mafia.
Right. So
Or 3-6 Mafia,
right.
sorry.
So when I was like 5, my mom liked to go to festivals.
Yeah.
She went to Bluegrass Festival. And like I said, I'm an only child. She's partying, this, that, and the third. I find myself in front of a stage with these guys. One's on the banjo, one's on the fiddle, like just killing, just getting in the zone. And I'm like there completely out of my mind, right? Enthralled in what they're doing and how they're creating this music. And from there...
On banjo?
Yeah. I mean, just all of it. It wasn't just the banjo. It wasn't just
banjo,
the fiddle.
When you see someone play a banjo for
dude,
real, it
that
is
shit is
extremely
insane.
intense. Yeah,
Insane.
they have picks on their fingers. And
Yeah, like all the fingers.
it's
I'm
flying.
Like, this is
Man,
insane.
flying.
Yes. And so it wasn't... I didn't fall in love with banjo or whatever the fuck, bluegrass. I fell in love with like music and the way, the rhythm and the way that the music took me outside of myself. From there on out,
zaps you in your heart.
Exactly. If I wasn't sleeping or in school, I had headphones on. I listened to Busta Rhymes. What was the group that he was with back in the day before he went and did his own shit? I forget.
Can't remember. I mean, I know he did an amazing collaboration with Tribe Called Quest.
He used to be in a group.
Yeah. We'll solve that problem. Keep going. I'll find out.
Yeah, I listened to Busta. That was my first delve into hip hop, and then obviously Eminem came, and Dr. Dre, and Tupac, Biggie.
Leaders of the New School.
Leaders of the New School,
we
right?
Known that.
Yeah, we should have.
Damn.
We just failed live.
But that's all right. We got Google.
Yeah, we got Google.
We would have wasted a lot of time being mentally wrapped up in that.
Yeah, we could have, yeah. But thank you to Google and whoever owns it. Did you know, fun fact, Google makes $230 million per day in Google advertising revenue.
Holy
per
mackerel.
day.
230 million a day?
Yeah, Facebook makes 171 million a day.
Wow.
A day in Facebook advertising.
Wow.
Insane, bro. A fucking day.
Yeah. Well, I give them a fair amount of my money for
right, me
Google
too.
advertising.
Me too. Yeah.
Everyone I know is advertising on Google as a business.
You got to.
You should check it out, everyone.
Yeah.
www.scafirm.com.
It's incredible. They're the best. They're the best. They truly are. They go to
if you
work.
go right to the website, there will be no monetary exchange with Google.
Right. We don't have to pay Google. We just go straight to the website. And so music has always been a part of taking me outside of myself, making me feel better, I played the drums when I was like 13 or something like that, but that was around the same time the drugs came into play. So I loved the drums, but very quickly gave it up to I couldn't have too much on my plate. I had skateboarding, which I loved. I had drugs, which I loved, and the drums were really cool, and I really enjoyed it. But like drugs and skateboarding, like were more important than all of it. And so I gave that up. But it was always hip hop. It was never any. No, so I'm lying. When did the Backstreet Boys come out? I love the Backstreet Boys.
Really?
They fucking jam, dude.
They're good.
They have a good rhythm, even though it was like completely commercial. Like I liked just the way that it felt. I don't know. I fucked with the Backstreet Boys. I want it that way.
Wait.
Tell me why.
Backstreet Boys were after my time.
Yeah.
When I was young, New Kids on the Block were the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
And
So
that was my first concert ever, New Kids on the Block.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That was my wife's first concert ever. Yeah.
It was
New
a
Kids on the
remarkable
Block.
concert.
Yeah. You want to know my first concert? Was Summer Sanitarium. I was 15 years old. It was at RFK Stadium with Metallica, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park.
Wow.
It was some fucking heavy.
Good show.
Yeah, it was crazy. I saw titties there. It was great. I have no idea why my mom dropped me off with my best friend there, because 15 to 16-year-old kids should not be there alone, unattended. But it was great. It was dope. I think Fred Durst flipped me off, which was dope. And
did you write music always? Did you write rhymes?
No, I wrote poems as a kid, but I was a closet rapper because I was scared of what Shady was so big. Like, oh, what do you think, fucking Eminem? Da, da, da. So I was scared of what people thought because I thought very low of myself. So I did it all in my head. As we started to get older, hanging out in the trailer park and around the neighborhood and shit like that, and like people would get high and freestyle and stuff, and I was down for that, but like I never really had anything to say, so I didn't want to take it serious because I feared what people would say, because I don't have anything to say. What am I gonna talk about, like trailer park and fucking getting high? Like everybody does that. So
that's what Eminem did.
Yeah, very true. Very true. But I never felt like I could live up to that, so I was like, fuck it. And then when I got clean, I listened to hip hop, but I didn't listen to Tupac anymore because I felt, not that it was a trigger, but it took me back to there, and it was too reminiscent. It was too close, right? To how I felt. I really resonated with Tupac through my entire childhood, and so I met this guy, and we were going to a new guy. I'm probably like 5 years clean, so this is probably around 2012. Met this guy, and we're driving to a meeting. He's like, yo, can I plug my iPod in? Because we had iPods then. And he plugged it in, he played a song, and the next song was an instrumental. He's like, yo, you trying to rap? I'm like, rap? Like, you rap? He's like, yeah, we'll just freestyle. I was like, all right, bet. And so he went first, so I felt comfortable, because he wasn't that good. And so I was like, I'm waiting my whole fucking life for this.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just like started spitting for the whole beat, 4 or 5 minutes or something like that. And he's like, "Can we put another one on, dude?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's go." So we rapped the whole way up, the whole way back, and that was the first time I had ever rapped in front of somebody not on drugs.
What a great moment.
Yeah, it really was. I still talk to him today. He's my buddy on TikTok. You have to get on TikTok, bro.
I can't,
Yeah,
man. I want to get off social media so bad.
Okay. Yeah.
I have
TikTok's
to be
not
on.
good. Then don't get on TikTok.
TikTok
literally consumes my whole fucking. I post
short video clips.
Yeah. 15. I mean, you can do.
It's a Chinese company, right?
Mm-hmm. Used to be Musically, but it's really big.
I know it is.
It's fucking.
I know. I'm trying to shield myself from any additional social media.
All right. So no, don't do TikTok.
Antics.
I don't want to trigger you into deep dive of TikToks. I can see it now.
Yeah.
So then we went to another meeting the next day, and somebody else came with us, and he was like, "Yo, B, you should rap for such and such." I'm like, "All right, bet." So it became like this thing for like probably the next 6 months, maybe even a year, where we would just like ride to meetings, be rapped in the car. It was fucking fun. Some people would like record me and do videos and post it on Facebook and stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, this is pretty cool."
This was the birth of B-RAiN?
Right? Yeah. And so then I met these guys at this meeting I went to in PA, and they were outside. They had kind of like a baby cipher outside the meeting. And I'm like, still inside, feared up. And I'm like, that's really cool. I really want to go talk to them, but I was scared. And so I didn't, because I'm scared. And I didn't think I had anything to offer. And so I started talking to them the next time I made sure that I went back the next time to see if they had the cipher, and I was fucking gonna jump in. And they didn't, but the one guy was there, so I talked to him like, "Yo, you guys rap?" And he sent me a few links of things that they were doing. I'm like, "All right, cool. You mind if we like kick it sometime and like freestyle?" Because I had no idea about like writing music. Like I looked at it like if I freestyled, then I'm not taking it seriously, and you can't really say shit. You can't make fun of me if I'm just freestyling because it's like off the top, you know. But if I start writing things down or putting it into my phone, then I'm taking it seriously. Then you can judge me on it. And
Well, freestyling is way harder than
yeah,
writing things down.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's an interesting way to go.
Right. And I don't know, writing things because you can be super analytical on writing things.
Sure.
Like that doesn't.
Freestyling is an art that
It really is.
huge populace can't even attempt.
Very true. Very true. Of which I guess I don't see it that way because I'm like, if I'm good at it, I'm sure everybody else is good at it.
So if you're a good person, if you're good at freestyling, you're
just good at freestyling. Yeah.
You're made.
Yeah.
That's way more difficult.
Right.
You can tell when people are freestyling, it's written.
Right, exactly. Like, come on, dude. You should at least like give some pause in there, so it makes it seem like you were trying to think.
Yeah. You just say nothing about anything in our periphery at all.
Right, exactly. And so, so I started talking to him, and we kept doing the car rides where new guys. We would literally have a packed car. Like people wanted to come to a meeting with B because he would fucking rap. And so I pursued these other guys. I pursued these other guys because I wanted to take it seriously, but I didn't have a safety net doing it myself. I felt like with these guys, they can kind of show me, and they did. So finally, they were like, yo, after like 6 months or something, he's like, yo, we got a beat. We're all going to jump on it together. I'm like, all right, bet. Boom. He sends me this beat. And, I think I went to the meeting by myself. I was coming home. I literally wrote the verse on the way home. By the time I got home, I texted him. I was like, yo, I'm done. He was like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm done. Like the verse. You want me to send it to you? And I think we had Blackberries then. And he was like,
you put the track, you did the whole track?
No. I wrote it and I practiced it in my head. And he was like, you're done the whole verse? I'm like, yeah, dude. He's like, oh, shit. That was his exact response. He's like, look, we'll meet up tomorrow at the next meeting. And so I did. And I was like, so I got there and I have this rap on my phone. And I'm about to spit it for these guys. Got the beat playing. I'm scared to death. I'm fucking shaking, like my hands. And so I spit it for them, and they were both like, "What the? You wrote this in an hour?" And it was like the first sense of like accomplishment. Like it did. Like okay, I have a little bit more confidence than I did 5 minutes ago. This is great. And so I made music with those guys for a couple of years, and we did a couple of my very first shows at these hole-in-the-wall dive bars or showcases and stuff in Baltimore City, across from the city jail. And, there was 4 of us, and one guy was going to college, one guy had a kid, and another guy started using again. And so I was trying to keep it together because that was like my comfort zone, was with those guys. But I had been hearing from people that were like close to me, my friends, my close fans. They were like, "Dude, we like it when you make music. We like we like these guys, but we like yours more." And I'm like, "Okay," but I'm still feared up. And so I started doing music on my own, like just me. I didn't even think I could write a whole song by myself because I had been writing a 16-bar verse and maybe a hook here and there, but writing, full hook and bridge and 2 verses or like 3 verses, and so I didn't think I could do it. I didn't have that much confidence in myself. So the first song I did by myself was called Night Owl. It was literally a hook, 1 verse, a hook, and like an 8-bar hook verse, and then a hook. Like it was, I think it was like 2 minutes long, but it was like I was like, I made a whole fucking song. This is great. This is great. And so I started doing that, and I was like putting songs out, and then, I didn't know the whole show part. They were doing the shows and booking and stuff like that. So I was, kind of Googling, how do I get shows? And I would talk to people, and they're like, people were really excited in the beginning to like support me, because they're like, yo, my buddy B-RAiN's fucking rapping. And like, I listened to some of my old music, and I'm like, damn, that's not nearly as good as some of my new music, So they were like super supportive then, and like they would put my name out there, and so I got booked at this convention, like a recovery convention in Hunt Valley, and that was my first show like by myself. I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Now we're in like 09?
Now we're in no, so 12, so we're probably in 13 now.
13, wow.
13 or 14, maybe 14, because it was just 20. Yeah, 14. And so did that. and that was like, no, yeah, 14. So I did that. That was amazing. I performed in front of like 300 people. I was scared to death until the music came on. As soon as the music came on, I felt at peace.
Sure.
I was like, let's
Of
go.
course.
And people were like singing the words back to me. It was great. And, I just like kept putting music out, and like people would still come to meetings with me, and I would rap like my writtens and stuff like that. And I remember one of them, my buddy, this was probably like 15, no, 15, one of my best friends died that like kind of took me under his wing and showed me what recovery is about, like networking and doing road trips and fucking playing spades and poker and like doing all these things together. And then when he went back out and then overdosed, it really fucked me up. And so I didn't go into like hibernation, but I was just like, I was just writing and writing and writing. I didn't really know what to do. I think I had like 500 followers on Facebook or something like that, and I was just scared. I didn't know. And then 16, I did a couple more shows. I did that convention again, and was there 10 people in here? What? It's a lot of people.
It is?
Yeah, for my YouTube lives, I only have like 5 or 6 people on there. But
this is his handsome face. That's
yeah, it's because of you, bro. It's because of you. And no, seriously, they don't like me. They like
no, that's not true.
So, but yeah. So I started. I didn't have resources for like music videos. I mean, honestly, I did, but at the time, I'm like, how am I gonna put this music out? Like, I've been putting music out with just pictures and audio. I'm like, I need to take it to the next level. So I didn't know how to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So I was like, friend, I talked to my buddy. I was like, yo, take this phone. You're gonna walk backwards, and I'm just gonna rap. This is gonna be my first music video. And so that was my first music video. I posted it on Facebook, posted it on YouTube, and like overnight, it got like, I don't know, 10,000 views.
Wow.
Which for me, I was like, yo, this is fucking crazy.
Oh, 10,000 is a lot.
It's a lot. And I was like, oh my God. And then so people started like hitting me up. And so I was like, all right, well, what's next? Because now looking back, I look at like every time I put something out, I always have 3 or 4 things ready to go. Like if this goes viral, I have 3 or 4 things to follow up with it. Because that's the biggest problem with artists is like they'll go viral and have nothing to follow up.
It fizzles.
Yeah. And so
content is king.
So I was like, all right, I got this other song, drove to the studio, came home, and I was like, all right, friend that just held the camera or my phone, you have a camera at your mom's house. I'm gonna need you to go get that. We're gonna make a makeshift fucking not tripod, but like a gimbal thing, and you're gonna hold it. I'm just gonna drive around, and we're gonna fucking wrap this. It's gonna be great. And I edited it in like iMovie or something like that. And that didn't do as good, but it still got like 6,000 or 7,000 views. And like, so I was putting out content, and these guys down in Florida, they were going on a tour. They were Recovery record label. They were going on tour with this guy Joe Nestor, which has become a really good friend of mine.
Like a very talented individual.
Incredibly talented, incredibly humble guy. Love that guy. But I had no idea. I just knew that he had a song that had like 1 million views. And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. And so I went and did this tour. I did 2 shows with him down in North Carolina. And this is early 2017. And I went down there, 1, to prove to myself what I'm capable of. And 2, to find out as much information as I can. Because I didn't know. These guys are doing it. And I don't know how to do it. I'm about to go be with these guys. I'm going to ask them. So this guy, Joe, after the show, and I was like, yo, can I like ask you some questions? And we talked out in like the VIP room for probably almost an hour. And I just picked his brain. I asked him every question I could, all these things. And I came home after those 2 shows with a good relationship with him and a couple of the other artists. And I'm like, I'm going to fucking do this. And so I put together this music festival in Carroll County, called Addiction Recovery Awareness Music Festival. And that I was like, all right, well, what do we do? We got to get artists. So we got a couple artists. I think we had like 10 artists or something like that, maybe 12, and a couple speakers. And it was fucking great. There was like 1,000 people there, and that was where I met my friend Rem. Yeah, dude, we were on the streets hustling, like selling these tickets, getting people out there, letting people know, and it was great. We had Brandon Novak there, which was really cool. A little skateboard legend, who's also a guy in recovery, and that's actually where I met my buddy Rem for the first time at Rem 1. So he had hit me up because he used to get high with Joe back in the day. And then Joe went to Florida to get clean, and Rem went to prison. And so Rem was talking to me, like when he saw that I was going on tour with these guys, he was like, be careful about not Joe, but about the guy that Joe was working with. And I was like, thanks, man. And, I was taking his lead. So when I came home and I put this music fest together, we had this relationship. We had never met online.
You had to get all the licensing approved and everything. You did it all?
No, so really we just rented the venue, which is the Ag Center in, low power mode. My battery's going dead. I didn't even see that. So we did it at the Ag Center. I think the rent the place was like $800 for one day, $600. We rented it. They have all the licenses.
How was that?
And that was that. We set up. We had a bunch of tables, resource tables, but it was the first like music festival of that kind in the area, and super successful. And then like literally from that day forward, I feel like Rem and I have been best friends, and we're just like dove into this like hardcore. We put on a little mini tour like that winter for like 5 cities in Maryland and PA. Because we had no idea what we were doing. We were just like testing the waters. But like each time we did something, we leveled up and we got better, and we leveled up and we got better. And then like I recorded my first album, Journey to 754, that same summer before Music Fest. And it was 12 songs based on my experience through the 12
How
steps.
does the studio work?
So,
I always wanted this. I know nothing about the studio. I have a friend who has a studio, but I never...
So,
and if you
what do you mean? What do you mean?
Like there's a person working a giant soundboard, and there's a person in a booth.
Right.
Do you bring the guy in that works the soundboard, or does the studio provide that guy? And
most of the time,
do you have to just rent specific times, or can you just said I ran over to the studio? Can you say I got something on my mind?
Yeah. So I called him. I was like, "Yo, I need to get in there immediately." So I didn't run right. So it was like, he's like, "Yeah, I'm good for Saturday." So I go in. So yeah, he's there. It's his studio, so he runs the stuff. And me and my buddy Aaron, we were like really good friends. But that was like the beginning of our friendship relationship. And he wasn't in recovery, but he was using at the time. And like kind of, that's a whole nother podcast. But we can go into it if you want to. So I started recording. He was in York, PA. So I recorded with him, and I recorded my first 2 albums with him. And most of the beginning songs, even before the album, I recorded with him. And so like I would go in there, I would kind of like, I would give him the beat, and I would just like kind of impromptu like just spit it for him, like this is what I have, and he'll be like, all right, bet, well, let's record it. And so I'll go in and do the hook, and he'll give me some like pointers or ideas or things to do, and then I'll, we'll layer it. But he'll do
line by line, like
no.
You spit a small segment.
Sometimes, depending on the song, depending on the tempo and the cadence, we call it punching. So like if it's like a super fast line, 16 bars or something like that, and it's like, I'm not gonna be able to do this all in one breath. To do it, start. So, oh yeah, my buddy Ram 1, he's texting me right there. He's like, do not forget to talk about the tour.
Talk about the tour.
So I'm going to talk about the tour. So we went on the tour last...
Hold up. I'm gonna pause this for 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Use the restroom and tell our cleaning crew not to come in.
Bet.
Cool?
Yeah. Jane Lang.
Small bladder.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you're going to do with your pants for a second.
I'm gonna talk to him for a minute. What's up, guys? We're just taking a pause. We're going to pause this real quick. I'm super grateful that y'all have stuck there with me. My buddy David with Zwanetz. Shapiro, Zwanetz and Associates. It's a great law office here in Maryland. Incredibly good friend of mine. We like really bonded over the past year or so with what I do in the recovery community and how I've been able to disturb. Hang on I'm putting this on Do Not Disturb. Hang on 1 second. How the fuck do I do this? Son of a bitch. All right. There we go. So we went on tour last year, the Takes a Village tour. But we're doing it again this year. If you guys didn't already know, we're doing it again this year because, man, you guys were absolutely amazing. You guys were incredible. It was an incredible turnout at all the cities, and we left a lot of cities off. So we want to get to your cities. So you can literally go to ittakesavillagetour.com, put in your name and info, tell us your city and state, and if your city and state has the most people, man, we're probably gonna come to your city. So back to it with my man Dave.
Yo.
I put it on Do Not Disturb, so I don't get
Oh,
those
sorry about
phone
that.
calls.
Small person, small bladder.
So I met Rem. We went on a small tour, and when we did that, it was just like, yo. I felt like it kind of like opened the world up for us and showed what we're capable of doing independently. Like,
Where did your tour go?
so we did. It was just in Maryland, Southern Maryland, Gaithersburg, Reisterstown.
How many people are on tour with you?
I think it was like 4 guys. It was all like local guys.
How much equipment? Do you have to take your equipment, all your
Yeah,
equipment
so we
to and
had
from?
we had 6 main speakers, like PA speakers that you would see like at a wedding or a DJ event, a subwoofer, DJ equipment, stuff like that, and we just
You have a specific DJ that's
yeah. So I think like, that's really important. Like
using vinyl?
no, he
Does
had
that,
the
does
electrics.
that not happen?
No, it does.
He
So our
does?
new DJ Rocky Styles, does, I don't know what they're called, but it's 2 independent, not, it's like, it's the scratching vinyl. So he's not like playing our songs on actual vinyl, but it's the scratching
Right.
vinyl. But it's,
Yeah, it's vinyl, but it's connected to a digital board.
Correct.
And you
Legit
manipulate like
he's incredible.
a record.
God,
I was
he
a DJ.
blows my mind.
I was a paid DJ.
Really?
Drum and bass.
Dope,
You know drum and
dude.
bass, jungle music? Do you know this music?
Dude, Rocky Styles does. Guaranteed. 100%.
Yeah, drum and
guaranteed.
bass. It was,
You know what's crazy? Rocky Styles does Wu-Tang Wednesdays.
Really?
Down it. Hey, Rem, tell me where Rocky does Wu Wednesdays. Because I don't know. I think it's at... I don't know where it is. I can find out. But he does
Do
Wu
it.
Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, he's at this venue. And spins some shit. He spins your kind of music, bro.
Good.
Yeah.
So you're carting around all the equipment.
Yeah, in our
trucking
fucking
around.
minivans, and literally, so we booked the shows Friday and Saturday, and then the next weekend Friday and Saturday, and then the next weekend Friday. So it was like we weren't like on this tour. We were literally go do this show, come home, go to this show,
Right.
come home.
So it's called a tour because you guys are constantly doing shows week after
exactly,
week after week.
Exactly. So it was Southern Maryland. Oh, Southern Maryland, Brooklyn, Maryland, Gaithersburg, Reisterstown, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So that was the 5 shows. And that I feel like it was good that we started small because it showed us that we can do this, right? And then, so that was 2017. 2018, Rem and I were making a lot of music, putting a lot of music out. Our next album came out, 555, The Journey Continues. And we started getting booked for these shows around the country, like in Indiana and Denver and Ohio and Dallas, and it was just like really cool. We were putting a lot of effort into the production, the music videos, the promotion, all this stuff, and really just getting out there and meeting these people, right? And then at the end of 2018, there was this contest for this thing called Recovery Fest in Rhode Island, where Macklemore was the headliner, Fits and the Tantrums was going to be there, Paris, which is a band out of Connecticut, but they had an indie band contest, and pretty much if you sign up for it and you get your fans to vote, and it went on for, I don't know, 3 weeks, a month maybe. And
When was that?
This was, so it probably went on from August, yeah, so it went on from August 1st to like September 15th or something like that, so maybe a month and a half. And me and Rem and the whole team like put some shit together, and we were fucking grinding, bro. We were like we had so many fans that like worked at hospitals and treatment centers and these other places that would just email blast their entire company every day, like, don't forget to vote for B-RAiN, don't forget. And so we ended up winning this contest. I mean, thank you, man. It was probably 100 and 150 people in this contest from all across the country. I mean, you're performing with Macklemore. It's a pretty fucking big deal.
Yeah.
So
I know you have a deep connection with
yeah,
Macklemore.
yeah, no, absolutely. Like his style, his sound, obviously him being in recovery, like I really look up to him as like, honestly, like some people put him down, but I really think as far as like the Northwest hip hop, like he's that, as far as like being his own self, you know what I mean, and not really conforming or being like anybody else. He is his own artist.
He got sidetracked by that one song that just went so famous.
Yeah, the thrift shop or whatever. Yeah,
thrift shop song.
Yeah.
That was kind of a goofy track,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, and he's got other tracks similar to that, but I don't think that's what he enjoys. I think what he enjoys to do is like the real stuff, the song about Glorious that he wrote.
There's nothing
about
wrong
his
with
grandmother.
making a boatload of money on a viral song.
Fucking
It's
right,
catchy as hell.
Yeah, do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. So I won. They literally flew out, me, my family. It was me and 10 other people. They flew out to Rhode Island. I have on my YouTube channel like road tripping with B-RAiN when we went to Rhode Island, they came and they had like my name on a fucking tablet. He's like, "You Brian? You Brian?" And my buddy was like, "No, he's coming." And they came and picked us up in like a black Suburban, took us over for like sound check and shit. It was the biggest stage. I mean, we were in front of probably like 10,000 people. And what was so awesome was like, yeah, I was the performer, but like I got to have Rem up on stage with me, and he was fucking engaging with the crowd. I had my buddy Aaron and the DJ and my buddy Chris, and we were just all on. Chris was filming, Aaron was the panda, and Rem was just rocking with the fucking crowd, just getting them engaged.
What's the panda?
So the panda used to be, just a fun part of it. That was Aaron, the producer. And, we kind of had a falling out over the past.
He just wore a panda head, come out, dance around, get everybody excited.
Yeah. And it was really cool. It was great engaging with the crowd and stuff like that. But, like, him and I had, kind of a falling out over the past, like, 6 months or so. That, I look forward to being able to sit down and talk with him and squaring everything away. Good. I don't want to have any resentment, and I don't have any resentments towards him, but like, everybody has their own process, and I know for me, like I said, when I get laser focused on music, like that's my main goal, and like the people that I keep around me that's their main goal too.
Right.
And that's not it's not always like that for everybody all the time. So, but yeah, I love him. I got no ill feelings, and I hope that one day we'll be able to sit down and talk it out. But until then, I'm grateful that I was able to give him those opportunities and Rem, and we could do it together as a team. It was an incredible moment. We had 10 minutes, and we fucking killed it. Wow. Like, the show went flawless.
Did you get a chance to sit down with Macklemore and talk to him a little bit?
I got to talk to him for about 45 seconds, which was cool. I don't think... I went in with the expectation, like, okay, I'm going to meet Macklemore. I'm going to fucking blow his socks off with my music and my message and how similar we are. And he's going to be like, B, come out to fucking Seattle and we're going to make a record or something like that.
Right.
Did not happen at all. But what did happen is that
Maybe planted that seed.
Well, so I planted the seed in 10,000 people's minds because I fucking killed it. And talked to him, and it was Recovery Fest. So I'm in recovery now. Granted, Macklemore's in recovery too. So is Fits in the Tantrums and Paris and all this stuff. But like, I feel like as far as what somebody could reach out and touch was me. Because when I got out off of the stage, I went down into the crowd and I interacted with everybody for the next 3 hours, took pictures and stuff like that. And that show segued into a show that Rem and I got booked to do in Connecticut, May of 2019, right? With this foundation called Glorious Recovery, which is a nonprofit out of Connecticut. And they had Summerfest. And when we were talking, she was like, we were trying to get a hold of Macklemore's manager to find out how much it would cost. I'm like, well, you want to know how much it costs? $250,000 is what he charged to come out and do that show. I was like, I'm only going to charge...
$250,000.
Yeah. I'm only going to charge you X. And they were like, that's way better.
A little more reasonable.
Yeah. A little more reasonable. And so we went out and did this show, but out there, they also brought in this artist named Casey Makes Music, which over the past, since then, almost a year now, we've become incredibly close. He's an amazing musician, but he's also a great producer. And so after that, or actually before that, we put this song together called Mount Rushmore, with myself, Rem, Casey Makes Music, and Kalichi, which and obviously other than Joe, that kind of like makes up the squad, the team. You know.
Cloud Gang, is that the?
So some people are like, it's so funny because I think of you every single time. People make this reference of like, you guys are like the Wu-Tang Clan. And I'm like, no, we're not the Wu-Tang Clan. There's only one Wu-Tang Clan.
Definitely.
And
definitely, they're doing big things.
Right. So we're still, I don't think we're still trying to figure out. I think, you know, we are each our own individual artists. We Are Cloud Gang is kind of the movement as far as like lifting people up and empowering people to feel empowered to do whatever they want, whatever their dreams are, not just
but
music.
without substances.
Correct, exactly.
That's the hook, right?
That is the hook, yeah. It's like, you know, they call it the pink cloud
Right,
when
I read
somebody
that.
first gets clean.
Because you're so happy that you feel so.
Yeah, it's like, yo, I tied my shoes this morning. This is fucking great, you know? And,
God.
but it's like things so
Yeah.
simple as that, like,
Yeah.
make us happy.
It's so important to have that curiosity about people and life. Life is really special.
It really
but we
is,
ignore it
We
so
do.
often.
We get so caught up in the day-to-day,
Of
so
course.
caught up in the
We don't even
bustle.
look outside. We don't even look up.
Yeah,
Sometimes I go outside and I look up and I'm like, wow.
yeah.
Look at these stars.
it was
look
like
at
2
these. Look at the
days ago?
moon. This is
Yeah.
insane. I just forget that we're in a spinning ball of rock.
I was watching that this morning on some Netflix, and they were like, there's, like, hundreds and hundreds of trillions of other galaxies out there that have a sun that's just like ours. Not just galaxies in
Yes.
general. I'm talking about galaxies with a sun, with a solar system like
Yeah,
ours.
which means they could produce
Yeah,
life.
and it was insane. I was like, yo, there's fucking definitely aliens out
Definitely.
there, 100%.
Definitely.
There's just, I feel like they've come to Earth and they're like, well, you guys are fucking idiots. We're out.
I don't know, man.
We're like, here's some
Really-
special stuff. Try this.
I really want aliens to land
Yeah.
and be a part of our
Yeah.
everyday.
Like, can we get some Men in
Badly.
Black in here?
I really-
Can we get some Men in Black in
I
here?
really am fascinated by aliens.
Mhm.
We
So
just
then-
majorly went off on a tangent.
Yeah, I'm good at that. Trust me. So we met Casey, did this song, and then people started to reach out to all of us and was like, can you guys do a show together, right? Because me and Joe and Rem were doing shows together. Kalichi was doing shows, and Casey was doing a couple shows. And I don't know, I felt like I had this team again. I was like, yo, Rem, why don't we do a fucking tour, bro? And so it was already in the works to do a tour, but we didn't know how big it was until we did this show in May with Glorious Recovery and met KC, and Kalichi came out, hung with us. And I was like, yo, this is the fucking tour right here. And so I started putting it together, reached out to Glorious Recovery. They were one of our title sponsors for the tour, so it was great. They came, they helped us out incredibly financially with the tour, and really helped to make it happen. We had a handful of other sponsors as well, like Project Big, which is a local nonprofit. They're called Project Believe in Goodness. They help out kids with not just cancer, but just serious illnesses and stuff like that. They do a lot for the children in the hospitals in like the Northeast area of Baltimore. They were a huge sponsor. And we did 15 cities in the month of October last year. We probably performed in front of like a total of like 3,000 or 4,000 people. We got to be on a tour bus for a month, which was fucking amazing.
You like that?
It was incredible, dude. It was beyond my wildest
saw a lot of
dreams,
that.
dude. It was
I saw
amazing.
snippets. I saw you
Yeah.
skateboarding a little bit.
Yes, dude.
was
Fucking
very happy
nasty
about.
heel flip. You saw it?
Oh,
Yo,
yeah.
I loved it. I put it on my TikTok too. It
Yeah.
went viral a little bit.
It's a
And
tough trick.
yeah, it's not easy, especially when you're fat
Heel flip is tough.
and
It's
old
a tough
and
trick.
tall. I wasn't this tall when I was a kid. A lot more
I
center of gravity.
wasn't this tall ever.
Yes, dude. And so we came home from that, and we had a couple more shows, and we all, at the very last show in Atlantic City of the tour, they
Where in Atlantic City?
Uh,
Which hotel?
somebody tell me what hotel. Bally's.
Nice hotel.
Bally's. Yeah, we were at Bally's. They comped us a room, and we had like a fucking squad meeting. It was great. We were like in this fucking hotel room. Like, yo, we're doing
You're doing
this again.
it.
We
doing
did
it.
it.
You're
I
on
was
tour.
like, yo, we
You're in
pulled it
AC.
off. Well, no, that was the last show. We were done.
That's
I
what
was
I
like, yo,
mean.
we
You did
did
it.
it.
You
We
did it.
did it, bro.
You're in a
All the
hotel that was
ups and
comped.
downs. Yeah, all the ups and downs through the whole tour. I was like, yo, we fucking pulled it off. It was amazing. And we were like, well, let's do it again, but let's do it bigger, right? And so for the past probably 2 months, while I've been opening the recovery house, I had a conversation with my wife about wanting to be 100% on board with music and just focusing on that and the recovery house, because I feel like I'm a much better self-employed person than employee, right? That was a part of my story that I left out, but I had gotten fired from probably 7 jobs throughout my recovery, either for putting my hands on somebody or fighting somebody, or which I didn't do this time, but it was like, all right, I'd like to do this. I'd like to do this full time. We opened the recovery house.
The recovery house is open?
The recovery house is open. We've been open. We're actually full. We're at capacity.
Tell me about it. How many beds?
We have 11 beds.
Where is it?
It's in Westminster.
Is it affiliated with a specific facility,
Nope.
aftercare?
Nope. So
you just need a sober living facility. They can call your house and
Exactly.
potentially get.
Exactly.
What are the rules? How do you?
So, it's super, like, a lot of other recovery houses have, like, application fees. Oh, fuck. Application fees, admin fees, all these things to move in to, and we don't. It's just like you pay 2 weeks rent, that covers your first 2 weeks, and you're in. You have to be clean for at least 30 days if you're coming off of the street, or you have to be coming from a detox or treatment facility or from jail. And if you're doing that, then you can come right in and stuff like that. We have curfews every night of the week.
Is there a house manager?
Yeah, there's actually 3 house managers. So it's like it creates more of a community. We have a very therapeutic community where everybody holds each other accountable, where it's not like a dictatorship of like, I am the house manager, you will fucking bow to me. You know what I mean? It's like I'm there probably 4 or 5 times a week, hanging with the guys, talking to them, helping them get jobs, giving them rides if they don't have a car. Like I picked up a guy on my way over here. It's from his job to bring him back to the house and stuff like that. Like I'm really hands-on, much more than a lot of, and maybe it's just because it's like that honeymoon stage, but I'd like for it to not be. You know, I truly believe like it's so important for somebody to own a recovery house that's actually in recovery, that's actually active in recovery and hands-on with the guys. Because like I have 12 years clean, like I'm like their age. I'm in the same boat. I feel like I have the ability to meet them where they're at and see like their defects for what there are. It's not that because they're pieces of shit, it's because they have defects and we have these things that we bring from us from jail, from the streets, from past traumas, and like they don't need to be beat down or bombarded with it. They need to be guided with the tools of how to fucking live. And so yeah, we have a house manager, assistant house manager, and a co-assistant house manager. Like I said, the guys in there were great. One of the rooms in the house cooks dinner for the whole house every Sunday before the house meeting, and we literally break bread together. We all eat together.
Somebody gets selected to cook, or one person?
Well, one room. So there's 5 bedrooms. One of the rooms, and there's like 2 or 3 people in each bedroom. And so one room each week gets selected, and they come together.
What do they make?
I think last week they lazied out and ordered Little Caesars. The week before they made like meatloaf and stuff, and we had like chips and stuff like that. So, but it's creating those skills. Cause I'm like, bro, like when you leave here, you'd like to have a family one day, right? Where you can, like, you can't order out Chinese for your family every single night for lunch and lunch and dinner. That's not how it works.
Yeah, everybody will have diabetes and no money.
Right, especially no money.
Yeah.
Like you won't be able to pay your rent. So it's really cool. We have a great house. You know, obviously going to meetings every single day. Make sure that they're compliant with their drug court or their IOP or whatever. We have a group text of all the guys in the house. If somebody needs a ride, they'll just put it in the group, and it's like, yeah, whoever's available, come scoop them up and stuff like that.
That's great.
It's really cool, man.
Good.
I love it. I really, and not against any other house in Carroll County. I think we have the best house in Carroll County. Like as far as like aesthetics, it's all updated, brand new stuff. You know, and me, you can't get me anywhere else.
No, that's huge.
Yeah. And so yeah, while opening and running the recovery house, we were putting together this tour. We have more than half of the shows booked for the tour already.
It's all over the country.
Dude, we're going east to west, baby.
Wow.
We're going to we already booked L.A.
Oh,
as
man.
well as
That's
Seattle.
gonna be nostalgic for you.
Yeah,
Maybe
man.
LA hip hop fan.
Dude, I'm so
Love
pumped.
Tupac?
Yes, dude.
Can't even listen to Tupac because it's so nostalgic.
Yeah.
You're going
I'm so pumped.
smack in the middle.
Yo, where are we going?
Tupacville.
What's the man. Skid Row? Is that a place? It's right by Skid.
Yeah.
It's right by Skid. The venue that we booked is right by Skid Row, from what I understand. So I'm kind of excited. The one guy was like really nervous. I'm like, nah, dude. Like, this is like, you know how you go to Baltimore City and you're like, oh, Baltimore, ooh, it's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Like, now you're in Fells Point. Like, it's not that scary. Like, I feel like the place where this venue is in like the hipster.
Probably.
It's a super nice area. And so yeah, we have L.A. and Seattle, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Denver.
Wow.
Portland, Oregon.
Are you getting on a tour bus again?
Yeah, we're going on a tour bus again. We have the budget set. We're raising the money now, getting sponsors and stuff like that, which has been not a struggle, because like most of the sponsors from last year are coming on this year, but like because we've upped, you know, the amount of shows and the amount of time. Obviously, we're renting the tour bus. It's not ours. It'd be fucking dope if it was, but you know, so the costs go up and stuff like that. So, you know, we're just looking to raise more money and continue booking the shows. I think we just announced our website. So we have the takesavillagetour.com, which right now is just, you know, people can put their emails and stuff in there and stay up to date on where we're at with like booking, get all the latest. We'll probably do like early bird specials on VIP and meet and greets and stuff. And then once we announce the tour, that website will actually turn into the website where people can buy tickets, buy VIP, buy merch and stuff like that. So I'm super excited. You know, we've added a couple guys.
What's the tentative schedule?
End of July through
That's
the end
soon.
of August.
That's soon.
Yeah. So like I said, we're about halfway there with booking. We're a little bit under halfway there with raising the funds and stuff like that. So, you know, just getting more sponsors and continue. And the booking process, what I've found, it was, you know, back in 2017 or 2018, it was foreign to me. So it was scary. Now that I've done it twice, it's not scary anymore. It's just volume. You know, how many emails can I send today? How many venues can I find? Because it's not just venues. Like when we book a venue, it's not a bar. It's not a pub. It's not like a bar and grill that just like has a stage in the corner. Oh, hey, yeah, you can perform. Like they're an actual music venue. So like I have to find out who works there, who's the exact person, how can I build a relationship with this person, how can I get them to open my email other than the other 100 emails that they got this morning. So that research is what's so time consuming, but it
fly around.
Yeah.
Walk right in.
Right. Well, so we've done that. I've walked into venues and they're like, "Get the fuck out of here." They want me to email. I'm like, "This is great." Like literally in Baltimore. I'm like, don't you don't understand. We sold 600 tickets at Baltimore Soundstage. Like nobody knows who we are on a Sunday. Like don't pretend like you don't know. That's big shit.
Yeah.
Like just let us like. Last year, we probably had the most trouble booking Baltimore. It was crazy. And that's what I was saying before, is like I had so much support in the beginning, and I think as I continue to have found success, I don't know if it's like people were like, oh, well, he doesn't really need my support anymore. He's fucking doing it. Or what it is. Maybe haters? I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm sure.
Maybe a little bit of all that.
Right. And so sometimes that shit gets
longevity.
Yeah. And cause
jealousy.
And like, so that shit gets in my head sometimes. Like some people, like I said, with the panda, and like, you know, we were really close and we had that falling out. Like those things suck. And I'm like, damn, dude, like.
It's impossible to go through life without having some falling out.
And so what I've found is
stay
like
on the right side of it.
Is stay the course, man.
Yeah,
Stay the course.
Stay the course.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your biggest piece of advice for people that need help? What do they do?
If they need help, which means they're probably
like, there's got to be someone listening to this.
Yeah.
That's using drugs that doesn't want to.
Yeah.
but doesn't know where to start.
So this is the best piece of advice that I got. Nothing that I come up with except for my music is original. Is that when I was leaving treatment, the Gaudenzia, the very last time, I was leaving with this girl. Like, we were 2 bags of dope walking out the door to every counselor and staff member there. But one guy was like, B, like, you don't have to stay clean forever. He said, just try it. Try it for 6 months. Do everything they say. Go to a meeting every day, get a sponsor, get a home group, do whatever. 6 months. If you don't like where your life is at in 6 months, go fucking get high. Like, the dope man is still there. The liquor store is still there. The police are still there to lock you up. Hopefully they'll still have a bed to put you in rehab. And if all else fails, there's always more dirt to throw over your body when you die. But just give it 6 months. And that is the most powerful thing that I've ever heard. Because that's what I did. Like I said, 2 months in, I was ready
to give it a shot. You're worth giving it a shot. Right?
Yeah. And I looked at it, like when he said that, like I said, I had 13 years of backup. I had 5 years probation. I didn't plan on staying clean. But I was like, you know what? What's 6 months? I can try it. I can see if I could do this. But like, the fact of the matter is when I actually tried it and gave it a shot, and like when I was met at that crossroad, like I said, 2 months in with no job, 2 felonies, a 20-year-old kid, like, I called on somebody before I gave up. And I was like, and when I was given the guidance, I was like, all right, well, I guess I don't have to give up right now. Maybe just not right now. I'm not going to give up. And I kept going. I got that job, bro. And like, that changed everything for me, Like I said, changed my whole fucking life, because every job I've had has been because of that. Like, just give it 6 months.
Yeah, like one more step.
Yeah, one more step. One thing, like I said,
Just
went from a 5-city tour to a 15-city tour to a 25-city tour. Baby steps. I can't fucking take over the world in one night. We didn't become addicted in one day, so remember, easy does it. But
do you still have to go to meetings, or not have to? Do you still go to meetings?
100%. Yeah, I still go to 2, 3, 4 meetings a week, every week. Even on tour. When we were on tour, we probably went to a couple meetings on tour, like all of us. It was really cool. Everywhere we go, like when we do shows, we hit meetings. Because it's really cool to see how the program works in different parts of the country. Because at the bones, it's all the same. But sometimes, like, the language is all the same. It's cool because, like, kind of not speak a different language, but we have a different
universal language to connect.
Exactly. And but it gives me that daily reprieve. Like when I do go, when I know, just like when Helen, my wife, and I go to counseling, or when we go to the marriage retreat, it's like going to the gym. I'm going and doing something positive for myself, my mental health, my sanity. If I'm going to the gym, I'm doing it so that I can stay healthy, because I like where my life is at. So I still go to meetings because I like where my life is at. And I fucking love helping people, because so many people helped me in the beginning. I had no fucking clue what life was about. There was so many people that helped me, guided me, took time out of their day, invited me into their house, and made me and my wife dinner, or like gave us rides and stuff like that. They did not fucking have to. And so like being of service has truly been that indirect amends to society as a whole. Like I said, all those things that I didn't get locked up for, that I'm glad I didn't, that's my indirect amends to society. Because if I can help one person get clean and stay clean, then maybe they don't have to break into somebody's house and hold them at gunpoint. Or,
powerful.
Yeah. And
very powerful.
But yeah, just give it 6 months. Like, not just give it time. No, fuck that. Give it 6 months. Because, like, we're addicts. We're like, oh, I gave it time. It's been a week and a half. No, motherfucker. Like,
6 months.
6 months.
It's a long time.
Like, it is. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not.
No.
Like, especially if you don't have fucking 13 years over your head.
Especially when it's 6 months totally investing in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your temple, making your body better, health better.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Relationships are probably 1,000 times better.
Oh, man, you'd be surprised how many... Because the thing that sucks is you'd be surprised how many people get clean, and in 2 months, just like me, 2 months I got that job, in 2 months, they start to get these things back in their life, and by 4 months, in their own mind, they're like, I'm fucking cured, I don't need this shit no more. That's why I say give it 6 months, because you can go through that fucking roller coaster in the beginning and get to that 6 months and like, all right, this is what I need. You know, I have a fucking ego. I have a sense of entitlement. Blah blah blah, or whatever it might be. Or I have this baby mama who's crazy, or this mom who's been on my ass. And of course, no, you're not going to get trust back immediately, but it does. It shows. I tell people all the time. I go to court with them. The guys from the halfway house. I go to court and speak on their behalf, and I'm like, look, they're called a judge because they're there to judge you. So if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you truly are recovering, you truly are doing the things that you need to do to better yourself, they're going to see that, and they're going to judge you based on that, you know? If you go in there and try to bullshit, 90% of the time they read right through it. Like, this is bullshit. I see it, you know?
A lot of the criminal justice system is bullshit, but...
Yeah, exactly,
That area, I agree with you.
Like, this is there to do that.
Judges can see through BS, and they can also heavily reward people when there's recognition that they're really trying hard.
Absolutely.
I think everybody secretly knows that jail is arcane and it's the wrong way to attempt to alter the course of a person's life. It's like a last resort, really.
Yeah.
You gotta really try hard to get locked up.
Yeah. Because jail wasn't what changed me. Jail wasn't what saved me. I'm grateful that I went to jail because I had that amount of time in between the last time I was on the streets to the next time I was on the streets. But it was being in treatment. It was the people that showed me this unconditional love that had no idea who I was or where
People
I
are
came
everything.
from.
The connections we have with other people are everything. It's our species. Does your crowd respect they're going to a hip hop show?
Yeah.
If you go to a Wu-Tang show, half the crowd's smoking weed.
Right.
Nobody would ever do that at one of your shows because they
Absolutely not.
absolutely know.
Yeah.
The crowd knows where
I would
they're
say
going.
90%.
So everyone is sober.
Yeah. It's really cool.
It's
Because
really
you
cool.
get to experience it. You get to experience all the feelings. Because I've seen plenty of people feared up. Like, I've never been to a concert before. I know this is a sober concert. I should be okay. But, like, you know, when I see, like, when we were on tour, we said it at the beginning of every show. Like, I challenge you to get outside of your comfort zone. I challenge you to walk through your fear and have a good
Dance,
time.
sing along, and do things that you need. Most people need to be inebriated to do.
And, like, at the end of the night, like, people have literally come up to me and said, thank you for saying that in the beginning. Because I'm not the first performer, but I'll come out and say that because I feel like it's so important to, like I said, give it 6 months, give direction. Direct direction, that's fucking stupid. But, like, give direction.
Yeah.
Like, here, this
call to action.
Yeah, and because it's important, because, like I said, me as a person, probably just people in general, if you don't give us direct call to action, like, I'm gonna be like, oh, am I fucking doing it right? I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's like giving them that direction, it allows them to feel free and really enjoy it. And they get, I mean, there's been hundreds, if not thousands, of people that have reached out to all of us that have said that night, whatever night we were in their city, like, was the best night of their recovery, the best night of their life. They brought their kids, they brought their parents, they brought, you know, their sisters, and
it must be really refreshing to know you're going to a place where everyone is going to be sober. And sobriety typically causes most people to act different.
Yeah, awkward, weird. They feel like.
Well, I just mean a lot of chaos goes with people being drunk and high. Everyone's sober. You're on your kind of best behavior because you're in your
venues
love your own head.
The venues love it. The venues are like, this is great. Nobody fought. There wasn't anything stolen. There wasn't a fucking mess where everybody puked or spilled their drinks everywhere. It was an easy cleanup. Like, the venues love it. Yeah, it's really cool. Except for the fact that they don't get bar sales, but they're normally aware of it ahead of time.
True.
Yeah. So, but like I said, most of the time they're aware of it ahead of time. I try to be real with them. Like, this
there's
is what
probably
we're doing.
some really cool drinks that can be sold that aren't alcoholic.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what they are. Oh yeah, like
Special.
virgin margaritas.
No, like special like Joe's sodas and like some kind of. I mean, that could be a potential sponsorship opportunity.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, we've talked to this
people
place.
need to eat and drink things at our show.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Bud Light.
Right.
So
it's gonna be your shit.
Yeah,
so let us get that and give us a nice little check.
Right.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like, there's this clean energy drink. It's where they actually donate 50% of their proceeds to helping people in recovery from addiction and alcoholism. It's super cool. So they didn't sponsor the tour last year, but they donated probably friggin' 12 cases of the energy, because we're guys on a tour bus.
Right.
We need energy drinks, so we were like pounding them like it was water. It was great. So we reached out to them. Hopefully, if you're watching, shout out to Clean
One more
Energy
time,
Drink.
please. So how do people? We're gonna wrap this up soon. How do people access you?
So
Websites, social media, spit it all out. Give it to me.
So B-RAiN on all streaming platforms, whether it be Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Tidal, B-RAiN. On all social medias, whether it be the websites wearecloudgang.com, Instagram is at wearecloudgang, TikTok's at wearecloudgang, Facebook is at wearecloudgang. We Are Cloud Gang is the movement. The username is always B-RAiN. So if you type in B-RAiN or We Are Cloud Gang anywhere.
What about the tour website?
Tour website, it takes a village tour.com. Like I said, right now you can sign up, put your email in, we'll send updates. We'll probably send special early bird prices for VIP packages and tickets and stuff like that. And, you know, you can go, like I said, YouTube, B-RAiN, everywhere. B-RAiN.
B-RAiN.
Yeah. Oh, We Are Cloud
Well,
Gang. Yeah, that's me.
I want you to know that we haven't spent a lot of time together. I've met you a few times, but I really care about you. I really like you. If you ever need anything, you call upon me anytime.
I'm super grateful that you had me here tonight. This was really cool.
Oh man, I'm the grateful one. This is awesome.
Hell yeah! When you said it, you hit
just
me,
to sit down and look, just to talk to somebody for 2 hours.
Right.
I'm not going to get this opportunity again until the next podcast.
Right, which is gonna be when? Plug it. No, just kidding.
ASAP. I don't know. I mean, the hard part is finding guests.
Right.
Finding people that are related in a way to my business of law, and that are willing to sit down and talk.
Yeah. Well, I feel honored to have been one of the select guests. You know what I mean? To be a part of this. You know, I always.
No doubt.
I love seeing people doing things that they're passionate about. You know what I mean? Like, because most people don't. They'll go to their 9 to 5 and go home, sit on TV, which is cool, and like spending time with family is important. But like to see when somebody like works their job and then does the passion,
has a side hustle.
Yeah, does the side hustle, does the passion, like how whatever ways fill you up. Whether it be my buddy works on cars, you know, he builds cars and stuff like that.
I love cars.
Yeah, you love cars.
I love cars.
I was looking, I was like, where's the Bimmer outside?
Audi.
Yeah,
Audi.
Gotcha. I didn't see it.
It's on the side.
That's why
Tucked away.
Yeah, I was looking around the parking lot.